Welcome to another edition of the Chieftain Rewind. The Chieftains came into Week 3 2-0 after dominating Grosse Pointe North on the road by a score of 41-6. Their next challenge would be one of their biggest rivals in Utica Ford, who were 0-2 coming into Week 3. The Falcons won last year's game 34-6, and Utica looked to avenge that loss this week. Before we get to the highlights, let's get to know our next senior. This week, we talked to tight end and defensive end Curt Kesan.
I started playing football when I was 6 with the Shelby Lions. I played 8 years there and then came here for freshman football and then been playing ever since. I love the physicality, the mentalness, and then being able to just go out there and take your anger and everything you have out and just I don't know, it's just a different feeling than any other sport. It's been really good. I got pulled up as a sophomore, got to play on the playoff team that year. Did pretty good, and then ever since I've basically had the help from the coaches, turned myself into a much better person, and it's just been amazing. It's helped me a lot. I mean, with the off-season programs and the way they encourage us in the classroom, I've been doing some amazing things, both mentally and physically, just the gains in the classroom and in the weight room, all that stuff.
I think he works hard too, and not just on the field, but in school too. I mean, I go to a special program with him, and he's not just field smart, he's also book smart too, which is good to have both.
Curt's a beast. He's obviously big. I think he went all county last year, something like that, and he's just always been good. Curt and I have been playing together since 4th grade. I remember he used to be running back, he used to just stiff arm people and put them into the ground. It's always been fun playing with Curt.
You know, he's been a starter for us since a sophomore, so all that experience that he brings, and you know, whether it's offense or defense, he has great playmaking ability. You know, we rely on him as a run blocker and to be a pass catcher as a tight end, so he can do all those things that we need.
My favorite team memory is probably shaving Maruli's head for playoffs. It was great. So the deal was that if we all bleached our hair, then we got to shave his. So we gave him a buzz cut with a beard trimmer after the playoff the announcements, and then we all bleached our hair that night. My personal goal, I want to make playoffs, 100%, and then hopefully make All-State.
Coming up next, we go through the highlights of our Week 3 matchup. Stay tuned.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
The Chieftains looked to remain undefeated while the Falcons were vying to win their first game of the season. These two bitter rivals face off in Week 3. The Chieftains with the ball first, and it's Gabe Olszewski on the carry, but he's stymied by the Falcons' defense. On Ford's first drive, Josh Byers hands it off to Matt Awe, and he gets the first down conversion. Then it's the sophomore Chris Williams. He fumbles it, but falls back on it, creating 3rd down. But the Falcons don't panic, and it's the senior Tavion Thompson who runs to the outside and dives into the end zone to put them up 7-0. Sammy Al-Fakir looks to get something going as he finds a seam for a first down. But Ford's defense holds its own and forces Utica to punt yet again. On to the second quarter, where Byers hands it off to Gary Nilsson, and he breaks 2 tackles, and it looks like he would go all the way, but Turner Tamati trips him up just in time to save a touchdown. It would become 3rd and goal, and Byers lobs it and finds Matt Awe in the end zone, and just like that, the Falcons have a 2-score lead. The Chieftains now desperate for some offense, and Jason Azar gets just enough for a first down into Ford territory. But Utica struggles again, and it becomes 4th down and 11. But they boldly decide to go for it. Zach Keene looking to find an open receiver, and it's a perfect 45-yard pass to Brett Berg in the end zone. Put that play in your highlight reel. With the Chieftains now amped up, the defense would force the Falcons to punt for the first time in the game. Utica back on the drive, and Keene finds a wide open Zach Jacobs to put them back in scoring position. Zach Keene with the fake handoff, and Jacobs is wide open, but he just can't make the grab. Utica would be forced to attempt a field goal, but it's muffed, and another costly mistake for the Chieftains. Ford would lead 14-7 at halftime. On to the third quarter. Tavion Thompson finds a seam, and James Valenzuela pops the ball out of his hands, but Gary Nilsson of the Falcons recovers it just in time. Ford continues to run the ball hard, this time with Joey Sorgi with the first down. But Utica's defense forces them to attempt a long field goal, and it's kicked just wide, and it remains a 1-score game. First play of the next drive for Utica, and Keene is brought down by Ford's defense, but it's fumbled, and the Falcons jump on it and take excellent field position. And Ford takes full advantage as Thompson exposes the outside of the Chieftain defense and takes it in 17 yards for his second touchdown of the night. Into the fourth quarter, and the Falcons threatening to score again, but Gabe Olszewski and Curt Kesan weren't letting that happen. That would force another field goal attempt, and it's blocked by Santino Donato. He has been fantastic in special teams. Utica back on the drive, and Sammy Al-Fakir sparks the offense with this first down rush. But they're back on 3rd down, and Keene finds an open Brett Berg, but he can't make the grab, and it's now 4th down. And the Chieftains have no choice but to go for it, and Keene tries to recreate his magic from the first half. But Gary Nilsson blocks it away from Jason Azar. The Falcons would seal things off with a touchdown pass to Xavier Ignis, and they win their first game of the season. 28-7 would be the final.
We just made some mistakes that were really tough to come back from, and they capitalized on it. Ford played a good game. They made some big plays, and really capitalized it when we didn't make the plays, or we had a few penalties, and they made them hurt.
We were just making a lot of mental mistakes. That's really all it came down to. We beat ourselves, and you're not going to win games like that. And we came out not as far as we should have, probably a little too overconfident because of our record and expecting what they were going to do. But at the end of the day, you can't make mental mistakes, and you're going to lose to teams like that, especially when it's a rivalry week. There's no excuse for it. Someone drops a pass, penalties made, fumbled snap, low snap, it all doesn't matter. It's all going to accumulate, and that's what happened tonight. So we need to realize what we need to do in practice and get those mistakes down, because there's no way that we're going to be able to walk in next week and play with that team if we're going to have the same mental mistakes we had tonight.
With a third of the season already in the books, the MAC White is looking close. Grosse Pointe South remains as the only undefeated team in division play, while Utica, LCN, Mott, and Ford are all tied at 1-1. Grosse Pointe North rounds out the bottom, sitting 0-2. Next week, the Chieftains head back on the road to face the Blue Devils of Grosse Pointe South, who were last year's MAC White champs. Utica lost to the Blue Devils last year by a score of 35-10, and both teams currently sit 2-1 overall coming into this game. Grosse Pointe South was victorious in Week 3 by shutting out Warren Mott 27-0. The offense will have their work cut out for them this Friday. That will conclude this week's episode of the Chieftain Rewind. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.